All right, good evening, everyone. How was everyone today? Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Yeah, we'll get things started a little bit earlier. I appreciate everybody being here. And what do we have going on this evening? Well, behind me here is just happen to have it there. I've got a Rigger's belt, or also known as a Last Resort belt. This one was manufactured by London Bridge Trading Company, a local Virginia Beach tactical operations company. And then I've also got this other Rigger's belt here, manufactured by Blackhawk. No, wait. This is a London Bridge one as well, actually. Check it out. It's super faded. Oh my gosh. Oop. Super faded. But that's the crest of London Bridge. This is one of my original Rigger's belts from 1999 when I got first stationed here. And that's the new logo. Based here in London Bridge. I remember when this company was out of a small shop next to a tattoo shop, and they are now this big company. So let's see who's here. We got Peyton here, we got Dusty here, Dueno here, Joker's over here. So yeah, we are going to modify these belts. Why? Well, check it out. This belt, if you can see, it's pretty long. Yeah, it's pretty long. All right. But that's my standard belt size. In fact, let's measure it out and see. Let me put my weapon away also real quick. So it's off camera view. We'll go to the camera view. We're going to move the cell phone over to the side over here so you can see it. But the green belt, which is my belt that I primarily use, is 41 inches across. This one here, the black one, was a, if you will, a gun belt. It wasn't my typical with uniform. It was a belt that I used over my gear and equipment. So basically I need to shorten this belt by a little bit, basically from here 42 inches all the way down to here. Yeah, we're going to shorten this belt up to here. So let's do that. Get myself a good pair of scissors here. These scissors are heavy duty scissors. They're meant for cloth, and it will slice through this webbing pretty good. Appreciate it, Dueno. Yeah, I wanted to get started early, Peyton. Why? Because I can. And so I appreciate you being here. And I've got two of these black belts that I need to modify, so we're going to do that. Actually, I'm going to keep one of these larger black belts. Why? I may need to use it again. When? Who knows? Alright, so we're going to cut this right here. Let's modify this. In fact, here. I want to record this, actually. So, how many people do we have in the chat right now? We've got one person watching, so I'm actually going to start over. I'm going to start the recording over again. Why? I forgot to hit record. And that's okay. I appreciate you guys understanding. Alright, so let's go ahead and stop the recording, and then we're going to start the recording again. Green Rigger belt, black Rigger's belt. And the whole idea is to make this black belt here the same length as the green belt, which fits me perfectly fine when I'm wearing camis. I will typically wear this black belt over gear as a secondary gun belt. So, first thing we do though, because I know this is the belt size that I want, right, is I'm going to measure it out at 42 inches. So, let's go to this here. You know, Justin and your favorite Patagonia Matty are playing live. Oh yeah? Nice. I'm sure that they are. I'm happy that they are. That's awesome. Good. Okay, cool. So let's measure this to see and compare the lengths. Alright, so this all the way out to here, end to end, is 41 inches. So we need to cut this at the 41 inch mark as well. Which is going to be right there. So let's do it. We're gonna do this actually. We're gonna cut it here. It's like, man, that's a lot to cut, right? Yeah, I guess. Round off those edges. All right, and then we're gonna fuse it as well. Why? So it doesn't unravel through wear and tear. Basically melting the ends so it doesn't fray any more than it ought. This is an old belt. And I've done modifications like this pretty much with all of my gear. Why? All the gear that they issued to me was always bigger than what I could use. So I was doing so many different modifications to my gear and equipment over the years. So it's pretty good. Alright, let's get this side down also. Alright, cool. So that's the first step. We have cut the belt. And you know what I want to do also? I want to clear some of this mess up. I didn't realize it was going to fall apart like that. You know what? I have a mini fan here. Check it out. Mini fan. Mind your ears. Throw the rest out over there. And so this is the other end, yeah? But the issue is it's not as easy as cutting it that short. Right? It's not that easy. Why? Because when you look at what the Velcro that's holding it all together, right? The Velcro, as you can see here, does what? Does something a little bit different. Oh, I cut it too long. I needed to go over here. We're gonna. We'll leave it that way it is. I like it a little bit longer. But I do need to make this kind of Velcro over here with a little bit of a gap there. So let's take that apart too. Get another tool, a seam ripper. And while we're at it, I'm gonna mark it where I need to cut. I've got a silver Sharpie marker here that will allow me to do that. So I know where I need to put Velcro. And I do have extra Velcro in my kit. So basically, this is where the silver starts, and this is where the hook. So I need to cut this section out, cut all this out here too, and then re-tack this down. So how do we do that? Well, let's flip it over. Oops. Alright, here's the stitching. You know what I could do? Just take this whole section off and move it over. Is one way to do it also. So let's remove it. Let's do that. Why? Because I can. One stitch at a time. Removing the stitches with this de-stitching tool. Now, as you can see, if you didn't see it already actually, or if you can see, this has metal buckle here and not quite a D-ring, but this carabiner ring. Hanging from the end of a rope with just the belt is extremely painful, so I do not recommend it. They called it a last resort build, if you will. I'm coming here to say I hope everyone has a wonderful night. Thank you very much, Legendary Princess. I appreciate that. Born Joker, that's the one I have. Nice. Yeah, I've got a couple of these. I've got this one has been exposed to salt water, so I would not use this for, parachuting or regular life-saving operations. It'll still work. I'm confident that it will. But it's not one of those things where typically if it's been exposed to salt water, if you can replace it sooner than later, it will deteriorate and such. So check it out. You see this little red knob thing on there, right? That red knob. I could take this inside here like so and just go and rip it down the line. got a couple. I got a middle stitch also that I got to deal with. But see how I'm doing that? Let's move this out of the way so it's set right off. See, I put this on this side here, and it helps separate it. So I could use a seam ripper. Instead of picking one stitch off at a time, I can take my time. Because there's a sharp blade inside there. It will cut. The pick is used to pick every single stitch out, but that's going to be tedious with this black on black thread. So I'm doing it this way, taking my time, ensuring that I cut the stitch itself. And then I'm going to actually reuse this Velcro. This Velcro is still fuzzy. It's still good. And I'm using this belt primarily to hold my pants up. If I need something that were more life-saving dependent, I would actually buy a new belt. You know. And if I were to, you know, would I use it? Yeah, I would still use it in a helicopter. But as the last resort, once again, I mean, I would hook this into the helicopter more as a, once again, last resort. My lifeline, my tether. Yeah, it would be my tether when I'm hanging outside the helicopter, for example, if I didn't want to fall out. Or in the event that I did fall out, I'd be hanging on by my lifeline. Clearing out some of that debris because it can jam things up. And just again, taking my time with the stitching removal. Last resort, because it's if anything, it's the, I don't know why, it's the last resort to saving your life, because you wear this around your belt, right around your waist, and then this D-ring you could hook. What I would do is I would take a carabiner, attach this. Do I have my lifeline up here? No, it's in my other kit bag. It's not hanging over there. But basically, here I'll show you Dusty. I would take this. This would be on my belt, my pants, right? Like so, right? Hook this in, beaner in, and this is attached to another like bungee, right? Onto what do you call it? Onto the side wall of the helicopter. So if I fell out, well, that was the last resort to keep me from falling out of the bird. Yeah. Measure zeta. I don't know what that means. I don't know what zeta is. Alright, cool. So let's just continue with the deconstruction of this belt. We call it a rigger's belt. Why? Because that's just what we called it. I guess it has to do with the parachute riggers who made these initially. Alright, other side, last one. We'll go this way with it. And if I were to just rip this out and destroy it by mistake, I do have extra. I've got spare of this stuff. Whoops, there. We're gonna go to the cell phone camera here in a little bit and move over to the sewing machine when I get to the sewing part. My old gamer tag was Measure Alpha. Oh, right on, cool. Right on, Measure Alpha. There we go. So I could reuse that. And then let's clean off the desk here a little bit again. And let's see, I'm coming over here to get some hook Velcro. The fat kind. Let's empty this out one more time to see where things need to be. So this basically needs to go here, right? Like so. And then let's do this. Let's mark this. So right there. Right there. And I've got some fat Velcro here. Some fat Velcro. How much do I need? I need stuff to take me to the very end. And then we'll just do like right up to here. That might be okay. Cut that. Still need the rest of this. Again. Give it some corners, boom, boom, and I'll do that with the ends also so it doesn't pick. Yeah, these are already rounded off as well. And we can go to the sewing machine and basically sew this down. You would have liked playing with me. I always watch the teams of 6. Right on. It's good. It's good. All right, let's go over to the sewing machine. And let's go. Oh, we'll use the cell phone as the camera for that. Let's see, Droid camera. There you go. So Droid cam's setting up there, and let's go to the Droid cam. I'm basically going to take this camera here, put it over there, off to the side, and so you can see what I'm doing. Yeah. And then let's do this also actually. Let's set up the OBSBot as well. Let's see what that looks like if it's over there. All right, follow me. Track me. That's the command. And then switch camera angles back. All right, cool. There we go. Hopefully it's not too bright. I mean, I need that lighting off. See. I set the thread up already so you don't have to watch me thread the machine. But this is a Sailrite Fabricator. Oh, I also do want to continue reading the chat, so let's do this too. Put it on the iPad here. Face ID. Good. Me, live. Turn the volume down. Oh. Well, I can't get the microphone any closer than this, so we're gonna go with that, guys. Hopefully you can hear me good still. Because I forgot to bring the microphones up and I want to get to working on this. So make sure I'm sewing it on proper. That'll go like that. So this is the hook side here. Like so. I am going to pin it down. Or not pin it down, but secure it into place before I start to sew with these clips, so I don't have to actually hold it. I can let the clips do their job. And it also makes sure that it stays straight the entire length of the project and flat. Yeah, we don't want it moving around at all, shifting and such. So that's why we're doing it like this. Oops, see. And then we'll do the same thing with the hook side of the Velcro in just a little bit. Put that off to the side there. Taking our time with the stitch. 1, 2, 3 forward, 1, 2, 3 back, and back over. Velcro, sewing Velcro is extremely tricky because that hook will hook and make the thread come apart. Alright, so we're going to try to stay on this part of the track right over here and stay away from the Velcro when possible. Taking our time, one stitch at a time. Not going fast, simply ensuring that I stay straight with my stitch. I don't know that I'm going to go up the middle with it like it was originally done. Why? Because, well, number one, I don't have to. Alright. Number two, it's just going to get all jacked up when I sew it anyway, so I'm not going to bother. How do I know? I've sewn Velcro before. It is. It's a Sailrite fabricator. This is a desk mounted, as you can see. It's one of those things where I needed / wanted an industrial sewing machine. Alright, we're going to back stitch it also. Hard to see the line. All the way. Just for the purposes of ensuring that the stitch stays there and good. Good to see you. Alpha 2, sorry about that, Joker. Yeah, I'm far away from the microphone right now, so tell you what, let me go ahead and get the microphones. I'll be right back. Thank you for letting me know. I was hoping it would be okay. You know what? Let me try to. Yeah, I'll just go get the other microphones. I'll be right back. Position 1. Track me. Microphone turns on. It's the receiver. Plug that in there. Comm check over. Okay, good. Anthony Blaze, what's going on? Good to see you. We are conducting a modification to this. In fact, here, let's move this OBS bot over to here. You know what I'm going to do? Actually, hold on a sec. what is this again? Droid cam. Which one am I on? Droid cam. Okay, there. I want to duplicate this. Duplicate droid cam 2. Move this over here. Rename. And we're going to call this one, where'd it go? Rename sewing machine. We messed it up, but let's try that. Let's try that angle. Yeah, I'll be right back. That looks better. That way you can see me do the thing over here. All right, cool. Stow the clips as I get to them. Why? To keep them out of the way. You know what? I think I will go right up the middle. Not. Alright, so that's it for this one. Let's get out the scissors, trim this. I like to trim it close to the work. And then I'll trim off the excess now also. Actually, we'll deal with that at the end. All right, next one. I need to set up the belt. Velcro right there. Yeah, I'm not worried about all this fuzz stuff. I mean, for those that are like, man, get rid of that stuff now. It's distracting. The way I would do that is I would just take some tape and just tape it off from the back side. That will take off the majority of this stuff. Less have to vacuum later, you know what I mean? Tim Taylor and the More Power Hour. That's awesome. I like that. That's good. No kidding, right? I like that TV show growing up. Home Improvement, I think is what it was called. More power indeed. More power indeed. Alright, so that can be trashed. Let's continue on, shall we? Alright, here's this here. This is where we want it to be. So, I'll go ahead and put some clips down. Once again, we got one of these here. One of these big fat ones over here. And make sure it's straight all the way down and across, yeah? I always go over everything with a lighter and just hit the ends so nothing unravels. Now it's a good idea. It's a very good idea. Should do that. You don't want it unraveling, you don't want it fraying, you know. that just leads to, and these are, like I said, these are just, the primary purpose of this belt is simply to hold up my pants. Now, I'm not gonna, this would not be an operational belt, unless it were for something else that we're working on. All right, let's do it. Before I start, I will line everything up like so. Make sure it's good. Make sure this is it. And I hold this top thread, all right, so it doesn't pull through. Hold it, 2, 3 forward, 1, 2 back, and forward. I'm going to be going over that again at the very end anyway, so not too worried about it. And then turn. All right, we're gonna sew right down the edge. I'm keeping this edge right here. If you can see it, there's an edge here in line with the edge of my presser foot. Oh, this big spider. 1. I feel like the Velcro is shifted a little bit on me. So I'm readjusting everything. Before I readjust, I bury the mini needle to ensure it doesn't move around on me. There, 2, 3. All right, that'll do. Can't really see the edge here anymore, so I'm just eyeballing it with this. There's a line here on this plate. I know nothing is necessarily shifted around on me. I can do that. Is a rigger's belt for bad sim play? I don't know what that means. You could Google it. So hold up your pants. Usually the difference between $100 vest and a $300 vest is just the stitching for the most part. I don't mind going over it. Right on. No, I mean, you take care of your gear will take care of you. All right, don't need these clips anymore. Turn, lift the presser foot, turn. I'm going to give it another stitch over. Back stitch a little bit more again. Bring it back down and bury and turn. Yep, no, that's different, wrong channel, Unknown Gaming. This is gear, clearly. That's funny. So, no. This belt is to hold up your pants. Turn all this off over here because we don't need it anymore. And this one. And then we're coming back over to the desk. That's not that old. Maybe 2022? No. 2000? No. I don't remember when I bought it. I've had it for a while though. All right. Switching back to the desk microphone, putting these away because we're not going to require the DJI wireless microphone anymore since we're at the desk. And that's how I modify this. And well, you know, it should fit. Let's see. Rody, what's going on? Look at that. Like a glove. Like a glove. So yeah, I mean, if you wanted it to be secure, then yeah, I'd pull that tight, of course. You know, I feel like it was a little short though, but that's how I made it. So, note to self, future belts need to be a little bit longer, so I have more purchase. I like it to go back to here about sometimes. You know, it all depends. But there you go. That's how I did that. Alright, let's see here. Unknown Gaming. This camera that I'm using right now that's following me around as I move over here, right, is called the OBS Bot Tiny. The link is actually in the description. If you click on the description, there's a link for it. Check it out. It's a really good camera, you know, for it being an AI PT pan tilt zoom. That's the camera that I'm using. Appreciate you stopping in and hanging out. But yeah, my everyday carry is leather belt, position 1. Position 1. There it goes. As you can see here, right? And I like to use this Safariland, I think it's called QLS, Quick Lock System, right? And then I basically, my sidearm goes into the holster here like so. So, or into the QLS, and then the holster, weapon in the holster, holster onto the QLS. It has an attachment that basically sits in there. Why? Because I like to have the ability to remove the weapon from my side, but still keep it in its holster. Why is that important to me? Because I can then also put that onto another belt and pants, or I could grab my other weapon if I would decide to switch weapons out very easily. Yeah, you got to love the quick detach, Kate. Exactly, quick detach, quick attach, right? Quick attach and detach. No, do love it. And all my holsters are Safariland, interchangeable. You know, interchangeable, and that's important to me. Those are my requirements. Some people have different requirements, you know, for their holsters. My son's holsters, he likes the locking mechanism of, I forgot what it was, and he also likes appendix carry. I do not like appendix carry. I'm a small man, and so not a lot of real estate. And I would rather have the ability to have my weapon available to me very readily versus having to move clothing out of the way and draw. But now, I could be fast with it, you know, through practice and training. But I don't practice train that way, primarily because I do open carry. 3.5 inch barrel version. Right on. Right on. Alright, I am ready to play some Fortnite, you guys. What do you think? That was a good build of this. So yes, once again. Yeah. I thought about just cutting that Velcro and then reattaching more Velcro, but I was like, oh, this is still viable Velcro, the hook side or the loop side. So that was the last second decision. You know, once I examined it a little bit more, I was like, oh, this is actually a very good, you know, very good dealio. So, yeah. I got another belt to do. We'll do that another time. Lessons learned. Make it a little bit longer. I'm not as small as that. I'm not as little as that green belt fit. I've forgotten. You know what I'm going to do right now, though? I am going to go ahead and set up for the Fortnite live stream. So let's go ahead and do that. Happy to answer any other questions that you guys got with respect to my gear. If I missed you guys, if I missed some things, please let me know. Let's see here. Where am I? Okay, I need to go to here and then here. And then, oh, I need to create a new stream. Create, go live. I always try to leave a few extras on my waist size. Goes up a lot of, Joker, you're a smart man. I just assumed that that green belt still fit me the same. I forgot how it fit. I haven't worn it in so long. After I put it on, I was like, ooh, I should have made it a little bit longer. You know, I do have a, like you said, when you eat a big meal, that'll do that to you, right? That did it to me just then. All right, let's see here. Reuse settings. I'm going to set things up so that it actually will redirect you guys over to the Fortnite stream. If you guys are interested in watching me play a little bit of the Fortnite, you know, I want to keep this specific to the Riggers Belt stream and then do a separate stream. But I can set. I've learned how to set things up so that we could continue the conversation over there. It'll be a slight pause, if you will, in the stream, but yeah, experiment, figuring things out, you know, and going from there. But I like making my own gear and figuring things out, making it fit, custom fit to me. I've been doing that for years, ever since I showed up at my first command. I kind of had to because, like I said, they always issued me gear that was bigger than me. Why? I am smaller than the average, you know, service member in the units in the community that I am in was in. But let's see here. This goes there. Next, we'll make this for 10 o'clock and done. And we're gonna put the heart rate monitor on. What do you think? What's it? Yeah, I remember moving before they made the camouflage utility jackets, or the camouflage tops. We would take the shoulder pockets. Remember, it was like 2 pockets up here and then 2 pockets down lower, right? I would take these pockets, move them to my shoulders, and then these lower pockets, I'd move them up to the chest, right? Sometimes I'd actually put a strobe light pocket. Do you remember those old school strobe lights that got so rusty so easily? I would sew that on to the pocket for a strobe light. Probably save a lot of money customizing things yourself instead of just buying more kit. Well, here's the thing also, you know, it was expensive to buy more kit, number one, right? And as a young junior officer, you know, I could spend more money on kit or, you know, eating out with the fellas, right? And it was like I've got the skill set to be able to do so, and everybody does. It's easy, especially with YouTube, to learn and know how to sew. And it's a good skill to have because you never know when you're going to need it. And using a sewing machine, just buy one, learn how to use it through the instruction manual. You know, I mean, it's funny. The very first, I bought my wife this $500 sewing machine years ago. It's a home sewing machine for, you know, home, I guess, stuff. And I used it more than she does because I was modifying my gear pretty regularly, breaking needles because it couldn't get through that kind of, you know, rigor, that belt. I had to just go slow. Now that I've got this industrial machine, I could sew through leather like this thick, slowly, of course, you know, but I had the ability to do so, which is pretty cool. And again, it's you know, that's why you invest in good tools and use the tools as appropriate, so you don't break gear, you know. Let's see here, Blitz Royale, save, and then I think I want to try to start the stream over there. All right, let's see here. Seeing you do it gives me a lot more confidence. Oh, well, Joker, that's huge music to my ears, bro. I'm glad that I was very helpful, that you learned something new this evening. I mean, repurpose the gear. It's like, do I need to? This little kit here, this little piece of kit right here. This is the key. This is the key to all of it. Why? That point gets underneath the stitch. There's a little blade right there also, that inside that blade. So that'll cut you. And then that little knob. Don't take that red knob off. That helps separate and give clearance for that blade to go through. Now that is a sharp blade, so it will cut the material that you're going through as well. Joker, same thing, man. Same thing, my friend. Same thing. In fact, that's kind of why I like to video the stuff that I do. You know, record, right? Video what I'm doing. If I mess something up, I can go back to it and figure it out again later on, right? Here, let me share this link with you here. Are you in Canada, or you're in, I mean, Canada? Are you where in the US are you in, if I may ask, Joker? I don't know why I thought Canada all of a sudden, but I did. Seam Ripper. Seam. Nope. Okay. Seam Ripper. Yeah, I basically bought this pack of like 12 of these things. Wow, they're on sale too. Here, copy. It's called a seam ripper. Check it out. Check it. My dad taught me to label everything a long time ago. I take pictures when I'm doing stuff. Smart man. And especially with, you know, the cell phone, it's so much easier to take pictures, right? Here's that seam ripper link. This is the exact one that I have. And vouch for it. Looks like they have it in black also. I like blue because it's easy to see among all the black, you know, desktop that I have here. In fact, I kind of want to white out everything in my office here. Do something a little bit different. Eventually, we'll get to that. Take pictures, video. In fact, the funny thing is I did an unboxing of an Anker C1000 power bank with solar panel, and I opened it up and I couldn't find, you know, I did the whole thing, talking through it, opened it up, and I could not find a cable. So I ended the live stream, and I was irritated that it was missing a cable. Well, I went back to the video, watched it, and I was like, there's the cable. And it was in the box. It was just hiding under the box. I didn't lift up all the boxes, I guess, right? So I found it as a result of me rewatching the video. I have to find a multi-tool that has that on it. You know what, man? If you, I mean, this is a pretty specific tool. If you can, great. But I would say make the investment on just getting this because you'll find it in sewing kits. I mean, shoot, just type in seam ripper and see what else comes up. A multi-tool, you might find it on a trimmer's multi-tool, maybe. Plus, I think, oh wow, that's kind of cool. Here, let me show you what I'm looking at. Chrome. Where are you, Chrome? Here, I'm going to share with you what I'm looking at here. Chrome. Check out this Stream Ripper, bro. Wood. And stiletto for sewing, quilting, thread ripping tool, presser precision. That's freaking dope, dude. Check this out. Quality tools, right? Quality tools. I would like to design a multi-tool that fits in the handle of an AR. Interesting. Interesting. Do it. What you waiting for, Joker? Yeah, I know, right? I mean, I'm all about high quality tools. You know, I mean, shoot, you saw my sewing machine. Sailrite is the name of the company. I'm actually an affiliate with Sailrite. If I may share that with you also. It's at oh, you know what? It's in the link. It's in the description. Let's see. It should be in the description. Yeah, it is. Yep. Are you going to be my businessman if I come up with a design? Brother, I want you to take all the credit for it, man. You know? I want you to take all the credit for it. Why? Your idea, bro. Your idea. Here's the company that I like buying my trimmer gear from. Sailrite. I am an affiliate there. Lots of good gear and tools. Nah, man, you take all the credit. I don't know what you would require me for, you know, but you should totally design it, you know, for it to fit in there. I mean, what the tools that you'll require. I mean, shoot, you could take the Swiss Army knife, climber. That would probably fit inside there and has a lot of good tools on it already. A basic pocket, a long blade, short blade, can opener, screwdriver. I think it's got a Phillips on there. It's got a lace puller also on it. You know, a hook. I think it's the Tinkerer that has the corkscrew. How do I know? Or I'm assuming that because I would save my money for that knife, and then I go buy something else. And I'm like, oh man, I want to get that tool. You know, that Swiss Army knife. I think it was either the Tinkerer or the Climber. Now I gotta look. Swiss Army knife, Tinkerer. All right, so the Tinkerer is the one that had the Phillips head. And it was the... Wait, Victorinox. Yeah, Victorinox. Super Tinker is the one that had the hook on it. The scissors is actually a really good piece of kit to have in your Swiss Army knife as well. I used it a lot to cut moleskin whenever I got blisters. Yeah, scissors. You need a sharp pair of scissors, and this one right here was a perfect one. You could probably get away with using the short blade as a substitute for this, but the problem again becomes this can pick one stitch at a time very easily, you know. See, just contact the company, get your own label put on a run of them, and market it, and you've got yourself a product. There you go, man. Do it. I love creating, but can't stand all the tedious stuff you have to do actually accomplish something. Yeah, no, you're right. There's something about that too. I understand that 100%. Whoa, the double XL 73 function large pocket knife. What is a largest pocket knife? Let's see. Largest Swiss Army knife. Swiss Army knife. Giant store. Look at this. This is ridiculous. It's got all the tools. You know, where is my Swiss Army knife? One second. I'm gonna see. I think I know where it is. I do not know where it is. At least it's not readily available to me right now. So, we'll you know what we're gonna do with one of these days, Joker? You just inspired me for an idea. I'm going to do a show off my knife collection. I don't even know where all my knives are. They're all over the house. Hello, Mr. Edits. Nice to see you. Thanks for stopping in. I was looking for something that would have every tool you could possibly want on. That would be that perfect size, and I couldn't find anything. Surprisingly, there's definitely a niche there. Yeah, right? Hey, man. What you waiting for? Start designing. Get to it. Great to see you, Plasma Edits. I appreciate you being here. All right, I am going to go ahead and try to get this thing going here. Let's try to use a different stream key. I guess I have to actually add this one. I'm gonna start that here in like 5 minutes. Actually, less than that. So thank you for asking. I want to get started with Fortnite as well. Joker, I'll see you over there, and Plasma, I'll see you over there as well. Thanks for stopping in, guys, and yeah, I'm gonna go play some Fortnite now. I'm gonna end the stream, and it should redirect us over there real quick. Joker says, would be as simple as making a list of the tools and measuring the dimensions. Too simple to bother without the money to do it. Or, like you said, just design it on your own for yourself, you know, because that's a pretty custom kit for yourself, right? And like you said, I mean, I think if you're gonna make it for yourself. But then if you want to mass market it, that's a completely different story in it itself, you know. Plasma Edits asked if I could play with you. Plasma Edits, I do not play with strangers. Number one. Number two, I only play with people that are my squad. Now, if you hang around the chat long enough, you know, because I mean, you're new to me, right? You're stranger danger, so I don't play with strangers. Additionally, I only play with people with a microphone, so we can shoot, move, and communicate. Number one. Number two, have to have a headset, because if you're playing music in the background, I don't want to hear it. Right? That's irritating to me and the squad other people that I play with. We all play with headphones on, so we cannot hear, you know, the other background music. And you've got to be an adult. I do not play with youth. We don't play with youth. We just don't, you know. The only youth I play with are my family members. So, yeah, but if you're a stranger still. So hang out in the chat long enough, and it takes a really long time for me to warm up to you. Why? Again, stranger danger. I don't know who you are. And honestly, you don't know who I am yet either. You know what I mean? I am a stranger to you. You see what I'm saying? Now, and yeah, I do not play fills. I don't play with randoms. I play with my squad. You know what I mean? But have a great evening, Joker. I appreciate you being here, my friend. I appreciate you hanging out and you know, sharing. You know, that's pretty cool. And I'm glad that I've gotten a chance to once again. I mean, you helped me out with my computer, my friend. I'm glad I could help you out with your projects too. And yeah, looking for the next conversation on gear, on, you know, more gear stuff. So, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and turn on this Fortnite stream. Maybe I'll see you guys over there. All right, see you guys. See you in a bit.